So I was at BCS a couple weeks ago and BAM! Alright, take two. So I got 8 crits. Oops. Bloopers.
Boopies.
Oh, not stick that in. If you don't have Torte, you don't have Torte, and you want Torte. So I was at BCS a couple weeks ago in Atlanta, Georgia for standard, and BAM! Yeah, I wasn't really expecting this at all. See, I was planning on going to the premium for BCS, and then I realized I couldn't go to premium, so I had to, oh no, what am I gonna do? So I switched to standard really quick, and this happened, and kind of regret it. My name is Christopher Rosa, also known as Tanichi, and as you can see, I'm in OTT and standard, BT Duos and premium, and I'm the leader of Team SoRa, the Vanguard branch of the Side Deck, a wonderful card cafe in South Carolina. I'll go over why I run these cards later. So this is my not quite optimal OTT deck list. You see, it's not quite optimal because I built this deck to fight Excel clans, which helps me get to top 8 because I beat Tachis, I beat Novas, I beat Aquas, which I hate Aquas. But once I got to top 8, I lost in the first round, and so I got 6, which is amazing. I'm so glad about that. But every time I face OTT with this deck, I lose. So I run 8 crits, 4 heals, 4 drop E's, pretty standard stuff. I run Losange, standard, pretty nice. 4 Circle Magus, 3 Farfel, 3 Gemini, and then 1 Luckbird, 1 Mizunohame. I hope I didn't butcher that. And 1 of this pillow. Okay, then for the grade 2s, I run 4 Promise Daughter, 3 Mimi, 2 Saturli Hime, and 1 Silent Tom. And then for grade 3s, pretty standard stuff, 4 Imperial, 4 CEO, and 2 Death Deer. So I run 4 Circle, which is pretty standard, 3 Farfel, normal, 3 Gemini, normal. I run 1 Luckbird because even though it's a really useful card early game, once you use the skill, is dead weight after that, so I cut that down to 1 suit to make sure that wouldn't happen. Same for Mizunohame, but if you already have a Mizunohame behind your Vanguard circle, then you don't need another one, and if you draw into another one, it's basically dead weight in your hand. And then I run, this is the card I run for the Excel match. This is the card I love. This is why I did so well against Excel. You know that situation where OTT is going against Aquas, and it's like a super tense battle, but OTT is having to swing at rear guards over and over and over and over and over. This causes Aquas to lose their attacks, but it means that the OTT player doesn't get a break for attacking the rear guards and has to keep swinging at them to ensure that they don't die to the Aqua's next turn. I've had that situation a couple of times, and I use this to remedy that. Basically, if you only have 4 or so rear guards, but you want to deal them because you know you can kill them, and because your opponent has like 3 cards in hand or something, then you can use this card to use the skill, which is counterblast 1, discard, draw 3, and at the end of the turn you discard 3. But that's important because you can draw the 3 and then get your full field, and then you can use Victorious's Deer's skill to do whatever he does. And then suddenly you have a full field, and it's more pressure on your opponents than you would have done if you had Deered without using this card, with 4 claws on field. This card actually won me my Nova's match and my Aqua's match. I highly recommend this as a 1-up, but no more than 1, because basically against any other matchup it's dead weight. Because you don't want to use this in force matchups, you don't want to use this in the mirror, you don't use this in any other protect plans. It's solely here for the Excel matchup, which in my opinion is OTT's worst matchup, any Excel. So this is why I run it at 1. And the grade 2 lineup here is actually why I don't think this deck is optimal, because there's no Torte, which is a massive problem. So you see, because I wasn't planning to play standard when I was preparing for BCS, I wasn't trying to get this promo, But once I realized that I needed to start prepping for standard instead of premium, I only had 2 weeks. And so I tried looking for this card really hard, but I only found it at BCS after my round 1. So I couldn't stick it in my deck. And I couldn't stick it in the deck registration. And it cost me the thing. Not really. But that was the situation. That's why Torter's not in here. So I run 4 Common Starter, for the obvious why. I run 3 Mimi and 2 Satori Hime. I've seen that most decks usually have these switched, but I don't actually like Satori Hime. I absolutely despise this card. I find this card not as useful, because in the 15k attacker department, Promise Daughter does it better, and in the top deck searching, top deck looking card, I have these two. So I understand that it's like a 2-in-1, but I don't actually like it too much. I use it because I know it's a good card and I know I should be using it, but I don't actually like this card. I use it because it's here, basically. I don't use it for any other reason. And then I run 1 Silent Tom, which I guess might surprise some of you, but I absolutely love this card as a 1-of. I see this card every so often. I usually see it at least once a game, and when I do, it usually wins me the game, because Silent Tom is basically only good on your victorious deer turn. It completely shuts out your opponent's grade 1s and grade 2s, which is really important, because grade 1s are 10,000 shield now, which is very useful against victorious deer. So whenever I use Silent Tom, swing Vanguard, swing Victorious Deer, and then swing Tom, and then this Tom usually kills them at the very end. Even if they have enough, would have enough cards to guard, if I had Promise Daughter, they usually die if I have Silent Tom on the field. Now, if I had my Torte, where would I put it? Honestly, I would run 4 Promise, because Promise, and then I would run 2 Mimi, and then 1 Satori Hime, 1 Silent Tom, and 2 Torte. I found that running 1-ofs isn't all that bad in an OTT deck because you're searching the top of your deck so often. Since you're running so many top deck searches, you can afford to run 1-ofs because you'll just be like, oh, I gotta look for this card, I better look at the top, put it on bottom. Look at the top, put it on bottom. Oh, it's not there yet. Oh, there it is. Counterblast 1 draw. And like, so you can afford to run 1-ofs in this deck. So Satori Hime and Silent Tom at 1 would be okay. And Torte is the card that killed me in the OTT mirror match. So it was important to run this at 2. And then grade 3s are pretty normal stuff. 4 Imperial, 4 CEO, and 2 Victorious Deer. Very standard. If you have an OTT deck, you'd see why this is run. 10 grade 3s, optimal, as we've seen so far. So that's pretty much all I have to show to you guys. This definitely won't be the last you see from Team SoRa. We're going to be uploading videos on Tuesdays and Saturdays on a ton of different topics, from deck lists to matchups to games to discussing advanced techniques. And on this channel, other players at the side deck are going to upload videos on other card games, hopefully, such as Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, and Dragon Ball Super. Thank you all for watching.